Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are back in action in a big way here for Austria. Now finally back from the UK after a little weekend away, and hopefully you guys did enjoy the two videos that I managed to upload while I was away. But we're here in Austria back again with the career mode, and I'm going to try and upload these episodes a little bit more frequently for you guys, so hopefully you do look forward to that. But as you can see, Austria is the race that we're at this weekend, and we're going to try and have a good result here, try and continue our momentum from the last 4 races, which have been absolutely incredible. If you haven't missed the last episode in Baku, then I do urge you to click the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. But we're now here in Austria for round number 9 of the season. The next race is my home race in Silverstone, so I do want to go into that race with a nice bit of momentum, and that's indeed what I'm going to try and achieve this weekend here in Austria. But as you can see, currently going through the practice programs, getting the green actually on the track acclimatization, which is rather surprising. But obviously around here for some reason it's a bit odd because all the gates are a little bit weird, so even though you go through them at a good speed, for some reason it'll give you green for no reason, even on ones that are absolutely flat out. So a bit of a weird one here, and I can only manage a green gate. However, in the rest of things, even the qualifying performance test, I managed to get a purple, which was rather surprising because that's not often one that we get in this career mode, to be honest, even though we do show good pace. So that was a very good omen and a good encouraging sign going into the race weekend here. But as you can see, we are going to wrap things up with the race strategy test, and we're actually going to get a very good result there with the 50 purple points as we go into Saturday qualifying, which you'll see in a moment was actually a wet qualifying in intermediate conditions to kick things off in the first part in Q1, and then eventually it was expected to dry out later on as the session would go on. But as you can see, the track is absolutely soaked here in this first part of qualifying in Q1. I left it right until the dying seconds to go out because the track was improving in condition, so I left it as late as I could to go out on a drying track. And I think we are taking a risk here, as our first lap is actually P3 is good enough as we cross the line, but as the session ends we only get P8 as guys did improve, like I said, on the drying track, and we dropped down the field quite rapidly down to 8th place there after our first attempt. But then in Q2 it was dry conditions. I left it late in the session to go out on the super soft compound tyres, which is the slower of the 2 fastest compounds available, and we're going to try and start the race on this tyres. We come across the line, we go P2 actually, so behind Sebastian Vettel, which was a very good lap, and I'm expecting to not obviously end there once the session ends, but it still was a good lap nonetheless, and actually gets us P5 there ahead of Esteban Ocon, who gets through in P6. But crucially, we're the only man in the top 10 to start the race on that super soft tyre, so hopefully that will come into play for us tomorrow in the race. But now into Q3, as you can see, and we've got some issues with some traffic in the form of, I believe, Kevin Magnussen, who we had to let by, and hopefully get a clean lap in here in Q3 as we now go on to the start of our best lap into the 100 meter board here just after breakdown of 4th gear. I cut the corner slightly in turn 1 and also get a little bit of a shaky exit, which sort of counteracts the corner cut, and a pretty average run through turn 1 to say the least, as we now go through turn 2 flat out and into turn 3. 100 meter board break just after it, down to 2nd gear, pick up the apex here. Very nice run through there, critical to get good traction out of here, which is exactly what I'll do. Open up the DRS, and we now prepare ourselves for the brake zone of turn 4. Once again looking for the 100 meter board on the left hand side here, and brake just after it down to 3rd gear for this very tricky downhill right hander here. Be careful with the curbing, use them at your risk. And as we now go flat out through turn 5 into turn 6 now, 5th gear corner, really try and use all the curbing available here, and then into turn 7 also been very aggressive, keeping it in 6th gear here in the qualifier mode as we now go through turn 7, and we've only got 2 more corners to negotiate in the form of turns 9 and 10 here as we now go once again into the penultimate corner. 7th gear, really be aggressive over the curbs, use all the track available, and then the final corner 4th gear, short shift into 5th gear, open up the DRS. We got a very good run through the final sector and across the line. Where is that lap going to put us? Is it going to be good enough for a pole position? Not quite. 2nd place, but a very good qualifying nonetheless, and I'm very happy with that position, to be fair, for the race, and one that we're going to start with on the super soft compound tyres like I mentioned before. So we're set up beautifully for the race tomorrow, and starting behind Kimi Räikkönen with a Mercedes 2nd row, and Romain Grosjean, an incredible 5th place for him there in the Haas car, ahead of a works Ferrari in the form of Sebastian Vettel, and then Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Ocon and Massa ran out the top 10, and Ocon only managed in P9 there. Quite disappointing effort from him there, but overall, that was qualifying, and we're now going to move tomorrow to the race for round number 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then on race day, and we are here for round number 9 of the season for the Austrian Grand Prix. P2 on the grid and super soft compound tyres to start this race, which is going to allow me to go onto the one-stop strategy. But before that, it's been a while since I recorded a race, guys, and I've been in the UK for the past weekend, so I'm very rusty on this game, so we'll see how this goes. I've not done any practice laps. I'm just going to jump straight into it and hope for the best and see what my pace is like. I did record practice and qualifying before I left last week, so that part of the video is already recorded. So this is going to be passengers new for me in many ways, and it's going to take me a few laps to sort of acclimatise and rubber into the F1 game. But other than that, in terms of the race strategy for today's race, we've got a one stop, like I said, and qualifying on the super soft has enabled us to basically just do onto the softs as the only stop of the race, whereas the AI who start on ultras, I believe that a one stop is pretty much impossible on ultra soft. So it's going to give us a big strategy leverage over everybody else, and essentially give us a pit stop worth of advantage. So even if we lose a little bit of time at the start of the race here, it's not going to be a major concern for us, because we are going to have the better strategy tyre advantage. So I think the tyre of this race has got to go for the race win. We've got to try and chalk up another race win in the border. Obviously, we won 3 in a row, and then we got second place in the last race in Baku. So if we can just chalk up another one here, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But if not, then a podium would be good enough for me. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not going to ramble on for much longer. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right then, here we are on the grid then. 5 red lights for round 9 of the season. And it's lights out and away we go here. Let's try and have a good start here. Not too shabby so far on the super soft tyres. Going to try and box in the Mercedes on the right hand side, but he's having absolutely none of it in the form of Lewis Hamilton into turn 1 now, right on the outside of the Brit, and we managed to hold on to second place for now. Hamilton up into third place. Raikkonen getting a great start already, pulling away at the front here, but so far so good for us. And that's a question for me of re-acclimatising to this game. As you can see, I'm really rusty all over the place in terms of my racecraft, and we've lost a couple of places there to the Mercedes, and also Sebastian Vettel's trying to come through here on my right hand side. Is he going to go for the move here? We've got the legs on him in a straight line. We're just going to try and out-brake him here on the outside. Can we pull it off here? Very tricky braking manoeuvre. We go around the outside and we hold on there. So far not too bad. Obviously, little mistake into turn 3. But, you know, that's to be expected. I'm a little bit rusty, so we've got to try and find our feet quickly here to not lose too much time and also make this strategy work. Okay, so far so good. The Mercs are the ones showing the early pace here. I actually matched Raikkonen's fastest lap just like last time round, and there's the Mercedes who are in the 1 minute 08s. So far our pace is sort of pretty good, and we've sort of settled into this now, and Vettel also not going for a move on me. So we're looking pretty good. It seems like we've sort of shaken off the cobwebs a little bit now, and we can now try and crack on with this race and tackle it head on. So let's try and continue with this good lap time. Let's try and improve slightly if we can, and try and keep them Mercedes in our sight basically. Also important to note that the Mercedes are pretty much our competitor now for second place in the Constructors, as that is what we are aiming for in this championship, because we do have a very good car underneath us here. Also to note, if we finish ahead of Raikkonen in this race, we're pretty much going to have to take him in the Drivers' Championship and take the lead. So there's almost quite a lot at stake in this race, even though it may not seem like it. So we've got to try and keep pace with these cars. So far the Mercedes are pulling away, but I'm lapping same laps as Raikkonen, and the Mercedes are basically caught up to the Ferrari. As you can see, Hamilton there, fastest lap, all over the back of Kimi Raikkonen. I think he's looking for a move as Raikkonen goes defensive into turn 1 here. So it's all kicking off here, Austria. Okay, so on to lap 7, and Lewis Hamilton has taken the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Raikkonen staying in touch with him because of the DRS, but that front 3 is looking very close there on that ultra soft tyre strategy, which I referred to at the start. So right now we're in the prime position for our strategy to work for us. Also, Vettel's sitting behind me here, but he's nowhere near really making a move, even with DRS, because I seem to get good exits, and also my lap times are very consistent. I'm always in the low 109. So right now things are looking very good for us, very promising, and so far so good. Like I said, we've got to keep those top 3 in our sights, because we are battling with all 3 of those in the respective championships. But so far things are looking very good. Okay, so interestingly, Bottas comes into the pit lane, so I'm going to guess he's going to try and force an undercut maybe on Kimi Raikkonen, who's still right behind Lewis Hamilton here. So interesting strategies, but the ultra soft guys starting to make their first stops of the race, whereas we're still pretty good in our tyres, only around 25%. So far so good. Engine wear also under control, and we should be okay to get this one to the end. So just got to try and control it here so far. Here comes Vettel looking for a move actually up the inside of turn 3, and I think he's finally had enough of me costing him time on that ultra soft tyre, and there he goes. I'm going to try and switch back underneath him. He will have DRS here, so that's not going to suit me one bit. I'm not going to fight him too hard, because obviously I'm on a different tyre strategy, but Vettel making the move, and Raikkonen still stuck behind Lewis Hamilton now. So it seems like Ferraris are actually finding a bit of pace, and as I say that, Vettel just double locks up heavily into turn 4, so we're going to retake third place. But like I said, the Ferraris seem to be finding a little bit more pace now into the second half of the race, or into this at least second, third, as the initial fuel starts to burn off and the tyres start to wear. They seem to find like a second wave of life. But I think Lewis Hamilton's coming to the pit lane, and Raikkonen's staying out for one more lap. Yeah, I think indeed he is. So Raikkonen going to go for the overcut. Hamilton defending his position. Also, I think his teammate might be a threat. So interesting strategy there from Mercedes. But either way, Raikkonen now once again leads this race, and we're into second place now. Oh, safety car deployed. Nico Hulkenberg out of the race, and that is a big one for the race as a whole, and completely unexpected. But right now, Raikkonen did stay out for another lap. So I think, do we switch over to the soft compound tyres, because we could potentially save ourselves a pit stop. We might be a little bit thin on tyres in the race, but I think we're going to go for it. So right, there we go. We're going to change the strategy, so we're going to go for that. And now we've just got basically speed up. We've got to serve our pit stop this lap. We've got to do a whole lap on the safety car. So let's just try and pick up the pace a little bit. I'm doing okay for fuel. I'll save a little bit on the safety car if I need to, but I'm not planning to run rich or lean basically this race. I want to just run it on standard and only rich when need be. So so far so good, but that's very interesting. Hulkenberg, who we just come up to now, pulling over to the side of the track, so obviously I'm guessing some sort of engine failure or something. But the crucial thing is here, obviously the Mercedes cars who've done their pit stop, I think they've both gone on to super soft, so they've got to stop one more time. But in terms of the battle with them and Ferrari, I think they're both going to jump. Both of the Ferraris will also both need to pit, so very interesting developments here. Right then, into the pit lane, we're going to serve our one and only stop this race onto the soft compound tyres. All I can hope for is that Raikkonen doesn't do the same thing, otherwise he's going to be competition this race, so we'll have to wait and see. I think he's actually stayed out, so has Vettel, oddly enough, so I think I'm the only one who's going for this risky strategy call, but either way, I'm not going to complain. 2.8 on soft compound tyres. There's Lewis Hamilton on super softs, and if we rejoin behind him, that'd be very good for us, because obviously we'd have track position on these tyres. Here comes Carlos Sainz on soft compound tyres. Massa now out of the race. Sainz is on my left hand side. Can we get ahead of him? Not quite, unfortunately, but we are in a good position here on soft compound tyres. The question is now, can we keep these in and then try and basically get these to the end of the race? It's going to be a long stretch, but I think we can do it. Just got to be very careful with the tyres here. We will have a huge advantage over everybody else on tyre strategy, so we just got to try and make these work. Also, Ocon, I believe, behind me staying out. Van Dorn out of the race as well, so literally cars retiring left, right and centre at the moment in this Grand Prix. But we're in P5 and net P1, I believe, pretty much, because obviously everyone's got a pit, so this is looking very good for us at the moment. We've just got to try, like I said, and get these tyres to the end, which is going to be absolutely critical. Right, the safety car is coming in this lap now, so we've got to get ready for the restart. We've got to be on our toes and ready to basically shoot. We've got to try and get past Sainz straight away, so it doesn't cost us any time here. So let's wait for the green flag. We are speeding up now, and there we go, green flag conditions. So let's get the hammer down and get past the Toro Rosso straight away. Good exit out the final corner on the fresh tyres here. Sainz got some pretty good straight on speed, to be fair. Getting a little bit of tow from the cars in front. Can we go for the move on the brakes into turn 1 here? I'm going to take the inside line and just sort of squeeze him out in the exit. And there we go, nice move on Carlos, up into 4th place. Crucial move there, and now we've got to try and keep in touch with this front 3 and not lose too much contact. Even though obviously the tyre strategy does favour us, I still want to try and get that position, you know, by merit. And also I want to see more paces like on these tyres compared to those guys who are on a much quicker rubber. So let's try and get the hammer down and see if we can keep up with them. Okay, we've got, I think that's Sebastian Vettel in the pit lane, I think, or Kimi Raikkonen. I can't tell. No, it's Raikkonen in the pit lane. So he's only had one lap on them tyres and he's had enough already. So we're up into 3rd place, net P3 here, as Hamilton and Sebastian battle out for P1, but both of them are going to have to stop, like I said. So right now we're looking very rosy on this tyre strategy, and things are looking very, very good, as now Hamilton is all over the back of Vettel here, side by side into turn 3. We're just going to watch this action unfold in the first person as they go side by side, wheel to wheel, and Hamilton's absolutely done it around the outside. Fair play to him. Fantastic move on Sebastian Vettel here, whose ultras will probably die off, and I think he's going to come in this lap anyway. But very good race so far from those guys, but we're doing a very good strategy here, and things have worked out beautifully for us. And now we just got to try and basically just watch them pit and take 1st place, and then it's going to be a question of controlling the race and bringing the car home. There you go, as expected, Sebastian pits, so that's now me into 2nd place, and then Hamilton, who is on supers, will be obviously staying out for a little while longer, but he will also pit in due course. Fast up the race from him there, 108.6. The question is, can we keep that up? Ocon with a 108.6 of his own, so fantastic lap from my teammate there. But either way, P2, and now DRS is now enabled, so let's try and make sure we stay ahead of Grosjean here, who's very quick on them super soft tyres. Right, I've gone up into rich mix to try and respond to Hamilton and also pull away from Grosjean. Personal best there, and it's working for us so far, as we now break DRS from Romain Grosjean, and also we're keeping Hamilton in basically within our eyesight. So so far things are going really well. I've got enough for a couple of laps in rich mix, and then I'm going to have to turn it down to standard again. So we'll just use it up now while we've got fresh tyres, and then obviously switch back in due course. Right, 108.5, best up of the race, and I'm now actually lapping faster than Lewis Hamilton. So that goes to show with the rich mix, it does make us a very fast car. And Ocon, I think, is also in rich mix, and he's doing a fair few bits there on them ultra soft tyres still. So I can't tell if they're fresh and he's just pit for them, or they're the start tyre, but either way his pace is very good, so I'm going to presume they're fresh. If not, then he's doing a mighty impressive job on those tyres. But so far, Force India 2-3, obviously Ocon will have to stop, but so will Hamilton. So who knows, maybe Ocon will have a shot here of getting one of the silver arrows. Another safety car, what? Oh my god. Now Magnussen's out of the race, so as the second safety car this race, we've still got like 60 laps to go, but the question is, do I stay on these tyres? I mean, I've got the chance here to switch back over to super stuffs and go to the end. Okay, so I'm going to stay out for a little bit longer, and I'm pretty much committed to this now. So Lewis has come into the pit lane, also Esteban Ocon, but we're on these soft compound tyres now, basically to the end of the race, I think, unless there's another safety car. So we're going to commit to this strategy. Let's hope it works out for us. We're going to have Bottas behind on super softs, and I think he's going to pit soon as well. So let's see how this all unfolds, but right now we're going to regain our net race lead on soft compound tyres, and we're going to try and get this to the end of the race, which we can, thanks to the safety car, I mean, we can get the stint length out now because this second safety car is going to help us and basically remedy our early stop last time. So we are going to get these to the end. The question is, what will our pace be like? So yeah, let's try and save a little bit of fuel, and that way we can have a little bit of rich mix to deploy whenever necessary. Right, safety car's coming in, so I'm going to launch the restart here. Just going to wait a little bit, and we're going to floor it when I get the chance to. So we're just going to hold on for a little bit longer, and now we're going to floor it here. We're going to just absolutely floor it through this penultimate corner and try and make a good restart. I'm in rich mix, so I've saved a little bit of fuel on the safety car. I've got Bottas behind me, so we've got to try and break him. So I'm going to push as hard as I can now with the tyres that I have left in these conditions in rich mix. So let's try and pull away. We've got a little bit of lap traffic in the form of Pascal Verlon, so hopefully he doesn't get in our way too much. We're just going to get to the left hand side of him and try and power past, and there we go. Bottas though is following me through, so I've got to try and really get the hammer down now. Right, Bottas has come in, also a couple of other cars, but there are those who are on fresh tyres, so this is why it's critical to pull away. We've got Hamilton behind on fresh super soft tyres already, so he's probably going to the end on them tyres, so we're going to have to battle a super soft strapped up Lewis Hamilton, who's having a bit of a battle right now with Grosjean, so this is my chance to pull away before the fast guys on fresh tyres start getting the pace down. Right, I'm now out of rich mix. DRS is enabled, and Lewis Hamilton is now clear of Roman Grosjean, and the gap is 3.3, so we're going to have to go into standard mix to see how we can hold that gap down. But right now it's going to be very interesting. Hamilton's going to be on the back of me very, very soon here. So we just got to do our thing, concentrate on ourselves, and then take care of Hamilton when he eventually arrives. Esteban Ocon now into third place, and he could be my saving grace, and he could actually help me battle Hamilton. I mean, I don't mind not winning the race if Ocon gets the result, because that way we can try and make this a 1-2 for the team, which would be absolutely fantastic. So if Ocon catches up, that would be absolutely brilliant for us. Also because Ocon was arguably robbed of a race win last time in Baku, so it would be great to see him get some redemption here and get a race result. And also, let's see if he can catch Hamilton up for me and do me some favours. So let's see how his pace is. They're both on the same tyre, so really I've got to do Ocon a favour here. And once Hamilton catches me, I've got to try and hold Hamilton up. Okay, Hamilton has now arrived onto the back of me here, so it's time to get defensive and try and fight for my life to try and hold on to this first place. Meanwhile, Ocon is catching up slowly, so this is what I've got to do until Ocon gets onto the back of Lewis Hamilton here. Also, Hamilton very fast in a straight line here. I'm going to have to go defend the inside line as Hamilton's all over the back of me looking for a move as we go into turn 3. Let's try and fight him here, taking the inside line. And can I pick up the traction here? Yes, I do. There we go. Nice bit of defensive manoeuvring there. And the first part of our defensive driving against Hamilton has been a complete success so far. But obviously, we've still got a long way to go in this race. Here comes Lewis again, same time as last lap. That car is fast in a straight line, but we're going to try and once again do the same thing. Match him on the brakes, inside line, through turn 3. Pick up the traction here. Lewis will have DRS on the back straight, and he's already somewhat alongside. I'm trying to squeeze him as much as I can here, but Lewis Hamilton making the move. I'm forcing him onto the grass almost. Who's going to break the latest into turn 4? I'm going to have the inside line. Do I squeeze him out? Little lock up on the right front. Keeping the nose in there, and we just squeeze Hamilton out and force him out wide. Also, Ocon has a car behind him who's catching him fast for company, and I think I'm going to guess, based off of raw pace, that's probably a Ferrari, so it could be a 4-car scrap for the race win here at Austria, and there's a possible 1-2 Force India on the cards, so we really don't want to write this one off just yet, and we want to try and maximise the possible result here today. Okay, Ocon has finally co-opted the group. We are, me and him, the slowest in the group, but we're going to try our hardest here to make this work for us. So I've just got to try now and keep these two behind whilst Ocon attempts to get past him with DRS, which he does have the speed to do so. So also there's a 5th car joining in the battle very soon, but so far I'm holding on, and the laps are running out. There's only 1.5 laps to go here, so if Ocon doesn't make the move, then I will, and I'm going to try and win this race by literally just defending as hard as I can. I've got a little bit of rich mix left, which I can use on that next lap. So Ocon's got to make the move, and he's got to make it now. Otherwise, I'm taking this first place. Oh, okay, Hamilton's got one of me. He's going to actually go up the inside of the penultimate corner. I'm going to leave him the room. I'm going to go around the outside. This is very, very tight here on the penultimate lap. Going on to the last lap of the race here, Austria. I'm not going to have DRS onto the main straight, whereas Hamilton and Raikkonen are. So I'm going to go to the inside and go defensive here because they're going to make the move. We're going to go 3 wide into the first corner, 4 wide even, I'd say. We're very boxed in here, and I've just got to try and survive this. Raikkonen's gone for a spin, I think. And Ocon's all over the back of Hamilton. There's a car right behind Ocon. It's all gone hectic on the final lap of the Grand Prix here. I don't know whose fault that was, but I was sandwiched in between various cars. If you now go into turn 3 here, let's try and get this all slowed down under control. Can Ocon make the move on Hamilton? I beg he can to make it a 1-2 for Force India. Sebastian Vettel's the man behind Esteban Ocon. We're going to watch this here quickly on to turn 4 here, but so far look like nothing is going to happen as we go into the brake zone. Hamilton's looking for a move on me also, but I think this is going to be the finishing order here, this race, and it's been a very, very tight race. Ocon's made a mistake, I think, into turn 4, just giving Vettel the chance to have a sniff, but I think Ocon's just going to hold it into this last lap of the Grand Prix. Please hold on, Ocon. I really want to see him on the podium after the last race, so let's hope he can pull it off and get it out of the bag. But so far, as you can see, it looks like we are going to bring it home in first place unless something goes absolutely horribly wrong in this last couple of corners here. And that instant, I've got to watch that back on a replay because I don't know exactly what the hell happened there. But here we go through the final corner, and we are back to winning ways, and we're going to take the championship lead at Austria. Unbelievable. Get in there, my son. 5 podiums in a row, and that is incredible. We've won 4 of the last 5 races. This car is an absolute monster. We are unstoppable in this career mode, and we've rightfully taken the championship lead, and we fully deserve it. And the question is, where did Kimi Raikkonen finish after that spin? Also, I want to see whose fault it was. I mean, I didn't get a penalty, so the judges obviously didn't think that I was to blame, but still, it would be nice to get a replay of that. Hopefully, when I edit the video, we'll see. But as you can see, Ocon does get his podium, which he should have had, in my opinion, in the last race in Baku also, and Hamilton joins us on the podium there. So overall, a very good race for us as an individual and also as a team. But we're now going to look at the final race results and see how everything shaped up after that hectic race, and also the drivers and constructors standings. Right, so as you can see, looking at the final race results, I win ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Esteban Ocon in 3rd place. Incredible recovery drive from him from P9 on the grid. Sebastian Vettel gets a really good P4 off from P6 on the grid, and then Bottas in P5. Raikkonen ends up in 6th place after that spin. Ricciardo in P7, and Carlos Sainz in 8th, Verstappen in 9th, and Grosjean rounds out the top 10 with a point for Haas there. But in terms of the retirements this race, a couple of retirements actually, with Hulkenberg, Massa, Van Dorn and Magnussen all getting DNFs in that race, and Van Dorn getting a 5-second penalty also on top of his troubles. But in terms of the driver standings though, we take the lead, and we're now 12 points ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, whereas Ocon takes a huge jump into P5 after that race. And Force India are definitely on the up here in this championship. As we look at the constructors, you can see that we hold 2nd place, but we are hunting down Scuderia Ferrari, which is absolutely incredible. So hopefully we can continue our good form in the next coming races, because I'm looking forward to it. Also, upgrade-wise, we should have a few more coming soon for the power tracks. But overall, that was Austria. We're now going to move into the laptop. So, as we look at the laptop, big progress here, as you can see, maxing out the driver expectation bar. But crucially, look at this. We've beaten Verstappen in the rivalry for the first time on our 3rd attempt. But look at that. Almost by double points. That's how dominant we've been over Verstappen in this rivalry. But very, very positive thing to see there. And it just goes to show how well things have gone for us. But if we look at the R&D section of the part of the laptop here, as you can see, we've got a few things going on. We don't have an incredible amount of resource points, so we're probably not going to spend anything for the next race in Silverstone. Even though it is my home race, I'm going to stay conservative. Also, I don't think we're going to get anything for Hungary. We are going to save up now for Spa and Monza, and we do have a failed engine upgrade here, which we will spend for that race, which shouldn't be too much of an issue, and then we can obviously choose where to go in this direction. But we also do have this one available here, which is the fuel technology for the power, so we could potentially work towards that and bring that for maybe Spa Monza, and just cut out all these here, maybe bring like this one here, which is the 450, and also the major one here, which would actually give us a massive boost in the engine department, to be fair. So we could possibly go for those, and that would give us a major performance boost in a straight line. And after that, we can then focus totally on reliability, which is a big issue of mine, and something I want to work on going towards the end of the season, to try and maximise possible points, finishing positions and all that good stuff. But other than that, guys, in terms of just general career mode progress, things are going very well in terms of obviously all the other parts of it. In terms of engine and components, we're looking pretty good here. We've still got 2 components that we haven't used yet. We're going to try and really get the life out on power units 1 and 2. And like I said, with the reliability upgrades, we should hopefully get 3 and 4 to the end. So I want to try and not use any extra components unless we get like a penalty or something in any certain race. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can try and slap 300 likes on this for the return of Career Mode. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you're new around here for future F1 content. Also, click the videos on the screen right now if you've missed them already or haven't seen them by chance. And also, check out GT Omega in the link down below in the description using the code TOM97 for a 5% discount at checkout. But other than that, guys, I thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.